Wet dog food is often marketed as the healthier choice. More moisture, more flavor, better digestion. At least that's what the labels want you to believe. But when you flip the can around and actually read the ingredients, a very different story starts to appear. Many popular wet dog food brands in the United States rely on vague meat sources, heavy processing, chemical thickeners, artificial flavors, and fillers that offer little to no nutritional value for your dog. Some of these products are sold in almost every major supermarket, recommended by vets, and trusted by millions of dog owners. Yet their formulas raise serious red flags. This is not about fear-mongering. And this is not about perfection. It's about understanding which wet dog foods rely on shortcuts, marketing tricks, and the bare minimum standards, and which ones actually respect what a dog's body needs to thrive. Today we're looking at 10 wet dog food brands that raise the most concerns. And later, a few that stand out as genuinely safer options. Let's start with one of the most recognizable names in America. Number 1. Pedigree. Pedigree is one of the most widely sold dog food brands in the US. You'll find it in Walmart, Target, grocery stores, and pet chains nationwide. And that popularity is exactly the problem. When you examine Pedigree's wet food formulas, the ingredient list often starts with vague terms like meat byproducts or animal derivatives. These labels don't specify the type of animal, the quality of the meat, or how it was processed. This lack of transparency makes it impossible to know what your dog is actually consuming. Another major concern is the heavy reliance on carbohydrate fillers and thickening agents. Ingredients like modified cornstarch and cellulose are commonly used to improve texture and reduce costs, not to improve nutrition. Pedigree wet foods also tend to be high in sodium, which may enhance flavor but can be problematic for dogs when consumed regularly, especially smaller breeds or older dogs. What makes Pedigree especially risky is not one single ingredient. It's the overall formulation philosophy. The recipes are designed to be cheap, shelf-stable, and highly palatable, not biologically appropriate. This is a brand that prioritizes mass production over long-term canine health. Number 2. Cesar K9 Cuisine. Cesar markets itself as a premium option, often positioned as gourmet wet food for small dogs. The packaging looks upscale. The portions are small. The messaging feels personalized. But once again, the ingredient list tells a different story. Many Cesar wet food recipes rely on meat byproducts as the primary protein source, followed by broths and gels that add moisture without meaningful nutrition. The protein percentage is often surprisingly low for a meat-based product. Another issue is the frequent use of artificial flavors. While these additives may make the food smell appealing to dogs, they don't contribute to nutritional quality. And they often mask low-grade ingredients. Cesar meals also tend to be low in fiber and micronutrients, meaning they may fill your dog's stomach without properly supporting digestion, immunity, or muscle maintenance. Despite the premium image, Cesar operates very much like a mass-market brand, optimized for appearance and taste rather than health. Number 3. Alpo. Alpo has been around for decades and is often associated with affordability and convenience. It's also one of the clearest examples of outdated dog food formulation. Alpo wet foods frequently include unnamed meat sources, animal digest, and artificial coloring agents. These colors serve no nutritional purpose and exist purely to appeal to human buyers. The protein quality in many Alpo products is inconsistent, and the overall recipes tend to be highly processed, stripping ingredients of their natural value before being reassembled into a shelf-stable product. Another concern is the minimal use of real, whole food ingredients. You'll rarely see identifiable vegetables, organs, or quality fats listed clearly on the label. Alpo represents an era when dog food was designed to be cheap, long-lasting, and palatable, not species-appropriate. And unfortunately, That philosophy hasn't changed much.
Number 4. Purina Beneful. Purina Beneful is heavily marketed as a wholesome and happy choice for dogs. Bright colors, smiling dogs, phrases like real meat, simple goodness, and naturally delicious dominate the packaging. But marketing language is not nutrition. When you take a closer look at Beneful's wet food ingredient lists, one of the first issues that stands out is the reliance on meat byproducts and processed animal components, rather than clearly defined meat cuts or organs. While these ingredients are technically allowed, they vary widely in quality and nutritional density. Another major concern is the frequent use of artificial colors. Dogs do not see or care about colorful food. These dyes exist purely to appeal to the human eye and often indicate a highly processed product. Artificial colors have no health benefit and are completely unnecessary in dog food. Beneful wet foods also commonly include added sugars or sugar-derived ingredients. These are sometimes used to enhance taste and encourage dogs to eat more, but they offer zero nutritional value. Over time, excessive sugar intake can contribute to weight gain, unstable energy levels, and poor metabolic health. Protein levels in many Beneful wet recipes are also lower than expected, especially when you account for the high moisture content. This means dogs may need to consume larger portions just to meet their basic protein needs. Despite the friendly branding, Beneful's wet food is designed for maximum shelf appeal and minimum production cost, not long-term canine health. Number 5. Iams. Iams has long positioned itself as a brand rooted in science and veterinary research. For many dog owners, that reputation creates a sense of trust before they even read the label. But trust should always be verified. Many Iams wet food formulas rely on unnamed animal fats, meat byproducts, and generalized protein sources. When a brand avoids specifying the animal origin of ingredients, it usually signals cost-driven sourcing rather than nutritional precision. Another issue is the heavy use of starches and binding agents, such as wheat gluten or modified food starches. These ingredients help create structure and texture, but they dilute the meat content and offer limited benefits for digestion. Iams wet foods also tend to prioritize consistency and shelf stability over ingredient freshness. The cooking and processing methods used can significantly reduce the natural value of proteins and fats, requiring synthetic vitamins to be added back in later. While Iams products meet regulatory standards, they often feel like a middle ground compromise. Not the worst on the shelf, but far from optimal. For a brand that promotes scientific rigor, the wet food formulas rely surprisingly heavily on shortcuts. Number 6. Olroy. Olroy is one of the cheapest wet dog food brands available in the US, and it's marketed exactly that way: affordable, filling, and accessible. The problem is that price dictates formulation. Olroy wet foods often list meat byproducts, animal digest, and unnamed meat sources at the top of the ingredient list. These components are heavily processed and can vary drastically from batch to batch. To compensate for low ingredient quality, Olroy formulas rely on high sodium levels and flavor enhancers to make the food appealing to dogs. While this may increase short-term palatability, long-term exposure to excess salt can stress a dog's kidneys and contribute to dehydration. Another major issue is the lack of functional ingredients. You'll rarely see beneficial fats, real organ meats, or meaningful vegetables listed clearly. Most of the formula exists to provide calories, not nourishment. Olroy represents the absolute minimum standard of wet dog food. It is designed to be cheap, long-lasting, and filling, not biologically appropriate. For dogs eating it daily, the risks are not immediate, but they are cumulative.
Number 7. Purina Pro Plan. Purina Pro Plan is often viewed as a step up from basic grocery store brands. It's commonly recommended by veterinarians and marketed as performance-driven nutrition. That reputation makes this brand especially important to examine closely. While Purina Pro Plan wet foods do include named meats more often than lower-tier products, many recipes still rely heavily on meat byproducts and secondary animal ingredients. These components may increase protein numbers on paper, but they don't guarantee high biological value. Another concern is the use of thickeners and stabilizers, such as carrageenan. This ingredient is commonly used to create a smooth, uniform texture, but it has been controversial due to its potential to irritate the digestive system in some animals. Purina Pro Plan wet foods are also highly processed, requiring synthetic vitamins and minerals to be added back after cooking. This suggests the original ingredients lose much of their natural nutritional value during production. Despite its premium image, Pro Plan still operates within a mass production mindset, prioritizing consistency and scalability over ingredient integrity. Number 8. Blue Buffalo. Blue Buffalo is often associated with natural and holistic pet nutrition. Its branding suggests transparency, quality, and care. However, Blue Buffalo has faced multiple recalls and formulation controversies over the years, which raises questions about quality control. Many Blue Buffalo wet food recipes include thickeners, gums, and starches that dilute the meat content. While these ingredients help stabilize the product, they contribute little nutritionally. Another issue is the complex ingredient lists. While this may appear beneficial, it often masks the use of lower quality components mixed with a small amount of premium ingredients for marketing purposes. Some formulas also rely heavily on peas or other plant proteins, which can artificially inflate protein percentages without providing the same amino acid profile as animal-based protein. Blue Buffalo is not the worst option available, but its reputation often exceeds its actual formulation quality. Number 9. Hill's Science Diet. Hill's Science Diet is one of the most veterinarian-recommended brands in the United States. That endorsement carries significant weight with dog owners. But veterinary recommendation does not always equal optimal nutrition. Many Hill's wet food formulas rely on byproducts, corn derivatives, and soy-based ingredients. These components are used to control cost and achieve consistent nutrient profiles, not to maximize ingredient quality. Hill's also uses highly processed formulas designed around clinical outcomes rather than species-appropriate diets. While this approach may be useful in medical situations, it is questionable as an everyday diet for healthy dogs. Another concern is the heavy reliance on synthetic supplementation. When a food requires extensive vitamin and mineral fortification, it usually means the base ingredients lack natural nutrient density. Hill's Science Diet focuses on managing symptoms, not necessarily supporting optimal long-term health. Number 10. Gravy Train. Gravy Train is one of the most heavily processed dog food brands still available. Its formulas are built around flavor and texture rather than nutrition. Many Gravy Train wet products include artificial flavors, colors, and preservatives. These ingredients serve no purpose for dogs and are used purely to enhance shelf appeal and palatability. The protein sources are often vague, and the overall meat content is low compared to the amount of gravy, thickeners, and fillers. Gravy Train represents an outdated philosophy of pet food. Make it cheap, make it tasty, and make it last forever. For modern dog owners who care about ingredient quality, this is a brand that belongs firmly in the past. Before we wrap this up, it's important to be clear about one thing. No dog food is perfect. But some brands clearly make better decisions when it comes to ingredient transparency, protein quality, and formulation philosophy. These are not miracle foods, but they are noticeably more thoughtful than most mass-market options. Here are 3 American wet dog food brands that stand out as safer, more responsible choices. Safe option number 1, Weruva. Weruva is one of the few wet dog food brands that consistently emphasizes ingredient transparency. Most Weruva recipes use clearly named meats, such as chicken breast or beef, rather than vague byproducts. The ingredient lists are short, readable, and free from artificial colors and unnecessary fillers. Another positive aspect is the high moisture content paired with real protein, which supports hydration without relying on excessive thickeners or gels. Weruva formulas also avoid many controversial additives commonly found in cheaper wet foods. While not every recipe is perfect, the brand shows a clear effort to prioritize ingredient quality and honesty. For dog owners looking for a cleaner label and recognizable ingredients, Weruva is a solid option. Number 2. Merrick. Merrick positions itself as a more premium American pet food brand, and in many cases, the ingredients support that claim. Merrick wet food recipes typically feature named animal proteins as the first ingredient, often including real muscle meat and organ meat. This provides a more biologically appropriate protein profile for dogs. The brand also avoids artificial dyes and focuses more on nutrient-dense ingredients rather than heavy use of starches and fillers. While Merrick is still a commercial brand and uses processing methods required for shelf stability, its formulas are generally more balanced and protein-forward than most supermarket options. It's not perfect, but it's a meaningful step up from the brands we discussed earlier.